open-mouthed. Father hadn't seen her, she was sure of that. She'd never mentioned that incident to anyone, not even to Toby, though she and Toby were the only members of the family who kept no secrets from each other. She sat in virtual silence for the first half of the meal, sulking, her mother would have said, though Tim did his clumsy best to tease her out of it. Did she have a young man yet? Was all this moodiness because she was in love? "There's no time for anything like that," Elinor said crisply. "They work us too hard." "Well, you know what they say, don't you? All work and no play." He turned to Toby. "Have you seen her with anybody?" "Not yet, but I'm sure it's only a matter of time." Toby's joining in the teasing, however reluctantly, was all it took to chafe Elinor's irritation into fury. "Well, if you must know, I have met somebody." She plucked a name from the air. "Kit Neville." This was not true. She'd hardly spoken to Kit Neville. He was merely the loudest, the most self-confident, the most opinionated and, in many ways, the most obnoxious male student in her year, and therefore the person she thought of first. "What does he do?" Mother asked, predictably. "He's a student." "What sort of student?" "Art. What else would he be doing at the Slade?" "Have you met his family?" "No. Why on earth would I want to do that?" "Because that's what people do when they're about to get engaged?" "Well, I'm not. We're just friends. Very good friends, but friends." "You need to be careful, Elinor," Rachel said. "Living in London on your own, you don't want to get a reputation." "I do want to get a reputation as it happens. I want to get a reputation as a painter." "You know what I mean." "Oh, for heaven's sake." "Elinor," her father said, "that's enough." So even father was turning against her. The last mouthful of cheese and biscuit sticking in her dry throat, Elinor followed her mother and Rachel out of the dining room. They sat over a pot of coffee that nobody wanted, staring at their reflections in the black windows that overlooked the airless terrace. The windows couldn't be opened because of moths. Rachel had a horror of moths. "So, who is this Mr. Neville?" Mother asked. "Nobody. He's in my year, that's all." "I thought you said classes weren't mixed." "Some are, some aren't." She could barely speak for exasperation. She'd brought this on herself. "Look, it's not as if we're going out. So, why mention him?" Rachel's voice was slurry with tiredness. Tendrils of damp hair stuck to her forehead. She'd eaten scarcely anything. She yawned and stretched her ankles out in front of her. "Look at them. Puddings." She dug her fingers into the swollen flesh as if she hated it. "You must be worn out in this heat," Mother said. "Why don't you put your feet up?" Feet up in the drawing room? Unheard of. But then Elinor intercepted a glance between the two women and understood. She wondered when she was going to be told. What a family they were for not speaking. She wanted to jump on the table and shout out every miserable little secret they possessed, though, apart from the breakdown of her parents' marriage, she couldn't have said what the secrets were. But there was something, a shadow underneath the water. Swim too close and you'd cut your feet. A childhood memory surfaced. On holiday somewhere, she'd cut her foot on a submerged rock. She'd felt no pain, only the shock of seeing her blood smoking into the water. Toby had taken off his shirt and wrapped it round her foot, then helped her back to the promenade. She remembered his pink fingers, wrinkled from the sea, the wall of hair on the top of his head as he bent down to examine the cut. Why couldn't they leave her alone? All this